everybody. So it's hi everyone. Hey Kiko. So I just need to like once we're not afraid of the Delta variant, I just need to come over. I'm glad the Twitchverse hears me. I just got back after being at Mum's, who I'm glad that I got you guys. It's you know what? Let's see, hold on. I ordered food already to like get delivered here afterwards, but just fuck it. Come over this that's I'm messaging you after the stream and we're figuring out time to hang out and get high together. That's it. Anyways, yeah, so I just downed an edible about 20 minutes ago. Now, you guys who have those of you who are the stream faithful know that I've done a pot or two in my life. I am not, as the phrase would go, pot naive. I've done guys, I've done drugs. So my husband is the chief scientist at a cannabis lab. And so I have a lot of pot kicking around the house. Like, this is not oh, my dog Buddy is here, by the way. I know I posted the other day, if you guys didn't see the update, I might have to just pull him over here because he's like, Mom, I hear you talking and it's not to me and I am the sad. But anyways, it's Buddy. We thought he was going to need to have another surgery. The vet looked at his little lump and was like, nah, the lump's, I think it's going to go down and it's fine. Anyways, Buddy's here and today, like, there was a bigger spring in his step. He's like walking at a kind of normal speed again. And he's healing well. Anyways, thank you guys again for all the donations. It basically covered the cost of the surgery. I am hashtag privileged. Just thank you. Anyways, back to this. Anyways, I took a lot of pots. My husband works as the chief scientist at a cannabis lab, and so he brings home treats. He'll bring home, this and more things like this, and sauces, and things that he's mixed with new types of terps and shatters, and like little. He's like, hey, here's a gram-sized crystal of THC. We got to bang this thing down before we can actually, put this into the. Anyways. People are asking how many milligrams. So we have, I took about 150 milligrams, which is not an amount I haven't taken before. Like, that's, if I want an amount that's going to put me to sleep and or make me a little weird, 150, I'm still functional at that much. So if anyone here is like, yeah, I can take a 50 milligram edible and still be fine, get on my level, bitch. So yeah, I just popped 150 milligrams worth of edible. And I'm going to be functional after that. So anyways, so people said, so am I the guinea pig? I am the guinea pig. So my point of that is, and I get, there was some argument in the comment section today. Someone just said, who's behind me? No. Oh, do you mean in the picture back here? This is Space Mom. This is Princess Leia, or sorry, General Organa. I just want to be. People are saying I can't take 10. Years ago, I could not take 10, but then over time, I started using it to manage pain, and I really haven't taken. I feel like the biggest hippie on the planet when I say this. I say this as I'm wearing a pink wig, living in an attic in Los Angeles. But like, I used to be on opiates much more regularly for pain, and now someone just said there is no guy behind me. It's just me. Are you talking about the picture? Anyway, oh, hold on, Buddy has finally wandered over. Hold on. Come here, baby. Come on. Oof. He has the biggest cone ever, but look at that little face. Look at him. Isn't he so cute? Isn't he so adorable? Anyways, he's doing much better. I'm not going to show you his underside because there's some stitchery down there, and it's not. But yeah, Buddy has a science vagina now. Hold on. Come here, boy. Come here. Have a seat. Let's do this. Side dog. He's not ergonomically compatible with this chair. Just give me a moment. We'll get this sorted out. Come here, baby. We might have the little cone sticking out, but we will do this. Oh, baby. I need to stick my head down here so he can give me kisses. Nose polish. Anyways, there's Buddy. Oh, let's get the camera. There's my baby. Uh, yeah, the bollocks. It's Dom just asked bollocks out. No, he came bollocks out. This he just got a science vagina. I know that's not the the technical term. So he got the abbreviation is PU surgery. I'm sure someone in the comment section knows the pronunciation and the full name for that. But basically, he had just a dick utterly fucking. Hold on a second. I'm just getting this rearranged. His dick was utterly fucking full of crystals. Like he seems thinner now. Like that's how many crystals were in my dog. But yeah, the vet did a really good job. He's doing well, and it's just he needs this on because otherwise he's just gonna look at all these stitches on his crotch and be like, "Ooh, toys!" And I would like his what remains of his dick to stay there because he's peeing out of a new hole where girls normally pee, and it's just he's got himself a science vagina. I'm like, you know what? Whatever he's got for plumbing, he's my happy little dog, and I'm just happy he's still here. Because man, being on the other side of the country while your dog needs emergency surgery, that's a little terrifying. So I'm glad he's all in one piece. And again, thank you guys for all the support. Just whew, Jesus Christ, back to the pot, because I'm very easily distracted, especially by cute doggies. Anyways, back here we go. So husband works at a pot lab. There's all kinds of stuff coming home. He will bring home tinctures. And of course, were we normal potheads who, just brought home things from the dispensary, not from the lab or from my mother-in-law, who's a grower. We have some pots. Adam's telling me focus. Yeah, it's not, focus is not my strong point, sir. This I have plenty of it on tap is what I'm saying. So when someone says, yeah, like these were the rules and so she should follow it because it's in there because we can't give anyone an unfair advantage. And this was the conversation today. We were talking about and I don't want to mess up the pronunciation of her name. I had not heard it pronounced. The woman who'd qualified for the Olympics, who qualified for the fucking Olympics and smoked, I guess, who'd smoked part of a joint because her mother had just died to relax and calm down a bit because her mother had just died and got disqualified from the Olympics for that. And look, I get it. It is a rule. It's a rule. It's a pretty arbitrary fucking rule. Oh, somebody go find Russell. Our team captain is missing. But it's I get it, arbitrary fucking rule. Now I went through and looked through the literature to see if there was anything indicating that this could work as a performance enhancing drug. Now, as a former distance running athlete, I looked through some of the literature on that. There are, a bunch of, ultra runners who, and look, I get it. Like there are a bunch of ultra runners that are like, yeah, I totally smoke up before going for a 20 miler. I'm like, yeah, I smoke before working out too. I'm not trying to win an Olympic gold medal. I'm a 37 and 11 and a half year old person who's trying to get through my workout with a bunch of really fucked up joints. Let's see. My husband is Paralympian, familiar with the USDA and WADA rules. This is going down too quickly. I'll have a look through that later. Sorry. It's going down pretty quickly for me to click on this. Dang it. But yeah, there's they're not it's not allowed. Anyways, I looked through a couple of the other cases that people were bringing up because there was a case of a Canadian snowboarder, I believe, and of course Michael Phelps, and people are comparing these two. Now they're two very different situations, even though they're kind of they involve pot. So the Canadian snowboarder, he was number one, he was a snowboarder. So why when they let snowboarding into the Olympics didn't they go, yeah, we have to just allow them to use pot? It's snowboarding. Sorry if I offended any snowboarders out there. Anyways, he tested positive for pot. However, pot was not a banned substance at the time in the Olympics. It was just illegal. So they took away his medal and then they gave it back. Go figure. Now he's opened a couple of pot companies. Capitalism. Anyways, the Michael Phelps situation, and this is just who the fuck knows. He never tested positive. There were pictures of him that surfaced on social media in between Canadian pot snowboarder using pot. I would be shocked if there are any sober Canadian pot. I mean, when I say sober, I mean not smoking the pots Canadian snowboarders. I'll be very surprised. It's not that I'm not saying I think you're degenerates. I'm saying I smoke it too. And why wouldn't you after throwing yourself down an icy cliff all day? It sounds like the only way to cope with that kind of life. Why? Anyways, so back to Michael Phelps. Michael Phelps was apparently only he was only caught with there was a picture of him on social, and I was incorrect about this earlier. I kind of went after some of the comments. I'm like, Michael Phelps was caught. I was wrong, so I'm sorry, guy, that I had to go at. But no, Michael Phelps, he was there was a picture of him on social media smoking through an apparatus, as the kids would call it. No. So he never tested positive for it. But I'm just gonna say it again. I didn't see the nanogram reading on her. Now, at my old lab, you would test our limit of quantitation for it was 6 nanograms per milliliter. And the whatchamacallit, the Canadian snowboarder, I read an article on him. It said he tested positive at 15 nanograms per milliliter, and he said that it had been 10 months since he smoked, which is just fucking impossible. Okay. He could have smoked that 2 weeks ago. And I get it. Normally, you can not have smoked for a very long time and still have it show up in your system. I have never heard of it being 10 months out and still have 10 nanograms per mil or 15 milligrams, 15 nanograms per mil show up in your system. That's just, I don't believe it. It's Jesus last get to the point or take 1,000 milligrams. We can actually, here's the thing. Taking 1,000 milligrams wouldn't speed up the experiment. It would just make it really fucking crazier as soon as it kicks in. So anyways, the point of this is that it's not a performance enhancing drug because it's definitely not making me any speedier or faster. The only thing that it does seem to do in terms of making people any faster, any whatever, if you take someone who's a middle of the packer, i.e., me, who they're never back in the day when I was a runner, or if I decided to take up distance running again, which would be dumb for my joints. If you take someone like any of us who are going to go out and try to run a marathon and not win it, or run a whatever distance race, those of us that aren't going to win, maybe we'll place in our age group. Maybe we'll rank in the top, whatever. We're not going to win the race, but we just want to beat our old PR. It might help manage the pain kind of the way an Advil, it's going to help you with the endurance because it's going to help with the pain, but there is no performance enhancement with this. It's not going to help with your muscles building up faster. It's not going to help within the way that we think of steroids helping or all these other drugs. Just really depends on what performance we're talking about from Bill Good. Yeah, basically, it's it will make my performance later in the night when I'm singing to my cat. It's so much more amusing, but it's not going to make me run faster. The thing that it seems to help with is, or that if anything, endurance, and that's not a sprinter's thing. You need reflexes and you need to get your legs going as fast as possible. There's nothing in there that that cannabis is going to help at all. You're talking what hundreds, thousands of a second off the block that you need those reflexes working. Yeah, is she qualified with a tiny bit of pod in her system? God damn it. Give her a fucking mulligan. Anyways, I think if it gives you an unfair advantage, then it should be unauthorized. But if it doesn't, yeah, exactly. Now, here's the thing. Alcohol is allowed I just saw Craig Hoffman commenting, alcohol is allowed in the Olympic Village. I read, and I'm not sure if I was unclear on this, if I got an incorrect interpretation. I read one thing saying that alcohol is monitored. And I think that might mean that alcohol use is monitored during certain sports. So they have to, pee in a cup before and after they get on the field, but it's not monitored through the court. You can use it and be an Olympic athlete, just not have it in your system, during your event. But yeah, it was really interesting to me looking through and finding that only some prescription opiates are banned. So you can have at it with, I think one sport, for whatever reason, I found one sport that banned Vicodin, but most of them don't have any ruling. That there's no testing on, no ruling on Vicodin, and Vicodin is almost as strong as morphine, which is really fucked up that they allow that one. But you can't have no morphine, but go ahead, take some Vicodin. It's cool. Most sports allow tramadol and codeine and Vicodin. And again, if the whole point is not to give an athlete an unfair advantage by letting them to be on a drug that cuts their pain to the point where they can just, plow through anything that hurts, this seems fairly arbitrary. Seems very, very, hold on a quick second. I'm out of the Diet Cokes and I moved on to grapefruit liqueur. I see. Now I see Derek saying it's not listed as a performance enhancing drug. Okay. Thank you for the clarification. It's not listed as a performance enhancing drug with the IOC. It's a drug of abuse. It's why it's listed as a 1 month ban. I see what you're saying. I appreciate the writing it loudly. So thank you. Here's the thing. They're giving her now, and this is why it's seen as quite unfair. The 1 month ban is kicking in 3 weeks before the Olympics. Why not have that 1 month ban like any other time? Like somehow Michael Phelps just happened to get a longer ban, but they're like, oh, that long ban, it's gonna be over. Like we're gonna pretend we're giving him a really severe punishment, but it's over right before World Championships. I don't know. It seems like this is really arbitrary, really unfair to everyone involved. There's nothing here. Like again, people. And the other thing is, why is pot legal if so abusable? Why, never mind legal, why is it a prescription medication that we give to cancer patients in this country? And it's a drug of abuse. I'm just saying, this got through FDA approval. The only time it's illegal in this country is when you get it through a plant. And I think people are very unclear on this because people think dronabinol. I apologize if I mispronounce that because occasionally I trip over my own floppy lips. The dronabinol is the prescription version, or Marinol. It's also called sold under Syndros. Thank you for pointing this out. I think I mentioned it in comments earlier. Simone Biles is on, I think it's either Adderall or Ritalin, I forget which, but she's on one of the stimulant medications for her ADHD, and she actually had to get, she had to go through and get an exemption for it so that she could keep using her ADHD medications. And there was somebody else who got into huge trouble for taking a cold medication that had a stimulant in it that's far weaker than hers. These rules are all really fucking arbitrary is what I'm saying. And I get it that we don't want people getting an unfair advantage, but at some point we have to look at these drugs and go, where are we just kind of making up what gives someone an unfair advantage, and where are we just kind of saying you can't use anything that like some people use caffeine as a performance enhancing drug. There's an example. Some people can't drink caffeine and might be like, I would like to take whatever over-the-counter stimulant that I can get my hands on that's going to give me the same buzz as caffeine. They just don't get the same. And I'm looking at that going, I get it. We all have our genetic things that let us compete better at things, but it's like, why? It seems, again, they go very arbitrary on which substances are the things that they're going to ban and the things that are going to not. Basically, you get caffeine. That's it. Or you get a thing for your, or you get the thing that you get an exemption for. Like I said earlier, the white, what's his face? It's the white dude who lied about being robbed and got away with the shit. God, I forgot his name. It's Ryan Lochte. That was it. Ryan fucking Lochte. And he had like that really douchey, like dyed gray hair. Just, yeah, that was what? Who lies about getting like? And he got to keep his medals, didn't he? He got to fucking keep his medals. Just saying. Anyways, the reason the reason they criminalize marijuana is because of migrant. Yeah, this is why I try to refer to it as cannabis, because if you look up the history of it, marijuana was really kind of the term marijuana has its roots in some racist bullshit. Anyways, but yeah, just there's no good reason for it to be illegal. It's not, people don't, yeah, some people can abuse it. People can abuse a lot of things though. And I don't see a person who just qualified for the Olympics as being a person who you have to worry about being an abuser of a drug that makes you lazy. Do we really think that a sprinter is all that lazy? Gets somewhere faster than anyone else on the planet, uses a drug that makes them she's going to get very slow on that marijuana. We got to worry about her being the second place fastest person in the world. Oh my God. What example are we setting for the children? Look, I get it. The end of this whole thing, there is, the bottom line that everyone's going to go back to, the bottom line that some people are going to look the boot on is that it's against the rules. Yeah, okay, it's an arbitrary rule for an arbitrary competition. A lot of people got away with breaking a lot of arbitrary rules for a lot of years. This is a really dumb arbitrary rule as far as arbitrary rules go. And I'm going to sit here and yell that it's a dumb arbitrary rule. And I get it. She broke the arbitrary rule. We can sit there and scream about the fact that it was a rule that she broke. Maybe sometimes we just got to yell that the rule was wrong. Like, and that's what I mean. I'm not yelling that she didn't break the rule. I'm yelling that the rule is fucking stupid. It's like the number of times in my life that I have gotten away with things that were against an arbitrary rule or even a law that was just, I got away with it because they're the types of things that we just kind of break and get around all the time because we can. And I got away with it and got to do everything I wanted to do in my life. It feels like, I don't know, this one feels like give the girl a fucking mulligan. Her mother just died and she qualified for the Olympics. Really? She could have appealed once to the Olympics and won. And eventually yeah. Anyways, I see someone saying it's super honorable to admit it, move on, and let someone else have her. No, that's not. I don't think that's honorable. I think it's shitty of the Olympics to do that to her. Like, why are we holding people to this absurd standard? Why are we saying that people have to, why are we like, I'm just saying, I don't know if she's from California or not. Like, it's why, if she's from a state where this is a legal substance, can't she use it? Again, I don't think I'd put that standard on anyone else that they can't smoke a joint the week that their mother dies to feel a little less like the world is crashing in on them. But that's what we put on her. It seems a little horrible. So I aspirated I see James saying you aspirated bong water. Dear Lord, my friend, I'm just. Let's see. I'm not sure. Was it your first time bonging? I'm just curious. Like, there are things. Oh, okay. She was in Oregon. Yeah. I'm just, Derek. I see what you're saying. I get it. That might have been good of her, but maybe she shouldn't be expected to be so good that she says, "Go ahead and take my moment." Maybe the world should be so good that it lets her have her moment. Like that's the point, is that she should she's from Texas where it's not legal, but yeah, it's like, here's the thing, I don't really care about if it's legal where she was when she's like, it's a plant and it's an FDA approved medication. Why is this the problem? And Vicodin's fine. That's what I want to know. That is what I really want to fucking know. And I have a big problem with it, and it sucks. I'm glad that the country is kind of as a whole saying this is wrong. Yeah, especially since it's nothing to do with any actual. It's her. I miss. I'll miss that part. Let's see. She was in Oregon. Thank you guys for clearing that up. Try to catch up with comments here for a moment. But yeah, this is all kind of nutty and terrible and all that stuff. You need a friend to hold your hand. Oh, I'm looking at the comments to James and his bong. Like, look, James, start with a gravity bong and go slow. All right. So it was legal where she was when she was running. It's legal in now. This is why it was funny. So years ago, and I apologize for name dropping, but I'm about to name drop. Years ago, I was having a conversation with my good friend Penn Gillette, and we were talking about the fact that cannabis, the legalization, when it was going to happen, when it wasn't. And I said, I think I was 31, 32 at the time. I'm getting old. 31 or 30. I was 32. And I said, I think I'm pretty sure cannabis will be legal federally by the time I'm 40. And being 32, he looked at me like, it's not going to take that long. He was shocked I thought it would take that long because, more and more states, like at that time, it seemed like they were falling like fucking dominoes. More and more states were legalizing it. He's like, it's not going to take that long. It's going to be way before that. I'm like, I'm leaving it open for whoever the fuck, we don't know who's going to take office. We don't know what's going to, and here's the thing. I was right. It's taking far longer than at the time shit was getting legal really, really quickly. States were falling left and right. And then we got the Trump presidency, and then we got the Biden presidency. So I'm just saying, just because we had, relatively cool boomer president in Obama, we weren't going to it didn't necessarily mean that we were going to get okayness after that, because clearly we didn't get anyone at the federal level who was like, yeah, we're going to be fine with marijuana. Well, not what we needed. Anyways, I see people trying to figure out what the gateway drug is. I'm going to clarify this all up. The gateway drug is childhood abuse. You're welcome. yeah, it's not a it's the gateway drug isn't alcohol or cannabis. The gateway drug is all the trauma that makes you want to use those things to block out all the fucking pain. So yeah, that's the gateway. Just to let you know. You are welcome. Glad I could clear that up for you. Don't ever when someone next tells you the gateway drug is cannabis, be like, why do you think people want to do drugs? Trauma is the gateway drug. You are welcome. Hold on, 3, 2. That was coming. Yeah, I'm glad I could clear that up for you, James. But yeah, look, I've done a lot of smoked, like my share, your share, probably like your best friend's share of pot in my life, and I'm gonna smoke more yet. But here's something that you got to know. I have never smoked the pot and then been like, oh, I need to do cocaine, heroin, and fucking PCP now. Like that's never been a thing that's happened. I've smoked all of the pot. Here's the thing. I've done a few hallucinogens and I never was like, oh, I did mushrooms yesterday. I need to do mushrooms again today because they're not really drugs that you like need to do again anytime soon, at least for me. They were fun, but holy shit, they take up too much time. Like I don't know. Some people really enjoy doing them all the time. Not for me. They were a good time that once, maybe again in 5 years. But yeah, cannabis, I don't know how it maybe other people are like, this felt good. I want to try cocaine, the drug that makes me feel edgy and cranky. Like that just doesn't sound like a good time for me. Like if I want to be edgy and cranky, I'll go to work. This is not I'll pass. Just because I've met people on coke and they always seem like they're in a bad mood. Like they're just they're high stress, high anxiety people. When I want a drug, I want something that's just going to make funny things funnier and tasty things tastier. Why do I need anything else? Like opiates make you constipated, and like after you take enough of them, they stop making you feel like that feeling of ooh, I feel a little warm and toasty. Like that kind of goes away after day one. So I take them as little as possible when I'm in pain, just as prescribed by my doctor. I don't see the allure for anything beyond that because the problem is after that first day, that feeling of being warm and kind of floaty, that goes away. So don't take them for fun. Otherwise, what I need them for when I'm in severe pain, as occasionally happens as a pain patient, doesn't work. But yeah, like that's the thing. I don't see how it's a gateway. Do not see how cannabis is a gateway because I just kind of like the way pot feels. So this idea that it's a drug of abuse when it's an Olympic level sprinter taking it. Yeah. That vape cart thing was over reported. Yes, there were bad actors. Oh, the funny thing is, if I recall correctly, I believe some of those vape cartridges that were killing people with vitamin E oil, I believe some of them were nicotine vapes. The nicotine industry doesn't want you to know that, though. I'm just saying. The last Coke. Let's see. Yeah, narcotics make. It's yeah. I mean, it's funny that like. Because I've been prescribed narcotics a decent number of times in my life because I've had many surgeries. I've had 3. I don't know if you can see them. Oh wait, I can never tell. Like, I know my left and my right, but when I'm looking in the camera, it reverses the thing on the screen, so I can never tell. But anyway, see, I don't know if you can tell on the screen, but I have a bunch of scars over here. I've had 3 left shoulder operations, 1 left hip surgery. I've had my tonsils out, and I think that's about the end of them. But yeah, like they prescribe you stuff after those surgeries. So I've been on a decent number of drugs in my life. That, and I broke a rib, and we have no idea how that happened. Just one day, my rib really hurt, and they're like, "Oh, it's broken." That shit happens when you have Ehlers-Danlos. So yeah, I've been put on a lot of narcotics in my life. I prefer to not be on them because, the constipation and the mood, they're just no good. I try to not be on them as much as possible and take them as little as possible. And I'm very fortunate that Tramadol manages to stuttering is fun. It manages most of my pain and I can be off of it without going through withdrawal. And that's kind of what it's if I could just take an anti-inflammatory and manage this, that'd be fine. That'd be fantastic. I'm on an anti-inflammatory for the left side, for the headache that plagues the left side of my head every day of my life. And it's one of the strongest prescription anti-inflammatories on the market. And they're like, if I didn't take, if I didn't smoke some of the pots or occasionally take some tramadol for the hip pain and for the other joints that are having issues, it's the anti-inflammatory is just not enough some days, and that's why we have these other medications. And it kind of saddens me that the way that we treat pain patients is we treat them like drug addicts now. So that's a little sad. All the things that we've done to try to curb the opiate epidemic has really just hurt people who are trying to manage illnesses. But anyways, yeah. Once upon a time, when I was living on the East Coast, and it was back before recreational cannabis was recreational. Actually, they just legalized medical cannabis in Massachusetts right before I left. And I told the doctor, hey, where I was seeing for my headaches, I'm like, you know how I have this really horrible headache on the left side of my head? Could we maybe try cannabis? They're like, no, cannabis doesn't help headaches. I'm like, I'm really glad I'm moving to California now. That was the thing that they told me. Cannabis doesn't help pain. I'm like, isn't that why you got? It's not going to help your pain. No. Anyways, so that happened. I was very glad I moved out here, but they were perfectly happy to keep prescribing me opiates and not try me on cannabis. And the thing about switching over to this, like, I've been able to not I had doctors who would prescribe stronger and stronger opiates when I was on the East Coast. And it's nicer to have doctors who are willing to work with me and willing to I can tell them I'm on cannabis, or I use cannabis as part of pain management. And, I tell them I don't want to go on to stronger opiates. And that's part of why I do this. And they're like, okay, we'll work with you on that. As opposed to saying, it doesn't help. No, you're doing the bad thing for your pit. It's, I had a doctor who would write me a script for somewhere between 90 and 120 Vicodin or Percocet per month for a fucked up shoulder at one point in time. My doctors don't do that anymore. And that's a good thing. And I really like that I have a doctor that I can talk to about all my pain needs, that I can say, this seems like a better way to do this. And we can talk about pain levels going up and down. There are months that I don't need anything beyond my anti-inflammatory. And like when I need pain meds again, I can be like, hey, it's just change in the fucking weather. And those are things that we can talk about. But again, we need to treat these like medications for people who have serious illnesses that cause them pain, and not always like drugs of abuse. So, including cannabis. But that's just me. The worst concept for cannabis is like it's a cure-all. Oh, thank you for bringing that up. And this I keep I spy Psyduck's cone of shame. It's now a cone of napping. I think it's this cone of silence. Yeah, no, that is one of my biggest pet peeves with the pro-cannabis industry. Because as y'all know, I do love me some cannabis. If you guys, and you saw my picture last week from visiting Psy Mom, I picked up, and I left this at her house, and this is how cute my mom is. She has the little ceramic piece that I bought, the lobster claw pipe. The Cheddar Bay hit this. It's hiding in her china cabinet. Again, my mom is the cutest human on the planet. But yeah, this is something that bothers me quite a bit within the cannabis industry. Is there are a lot of people who think it can cure everything. It can't. Like, that's the thing. Any brain drug, anything that affects the way that you're thinking, affects the way you feel, any substance. Because I've got, between my husband and I, we've got, we both have mental health issues. He has severe depression issues, and I have ADHD. I deal with some depression, anxiety. We're on different medications for it because we like to have our, because we'd rather not feel like crap all the time. And anyways, medications work really well, and as does therapy. So each of the medications that we have, they do different things. They affect brains differently. And if someone came out with like a bottle of Wellbutrin and was like, this cures everything for your brain, they would be a liar too. So it's weird. And I get it. Cannabis has a bunch of different substances. They have a bunch of cannabinoids. CBD has some amazing medical properties, as does as do all the different, as does, THC, THCA, CBD, or not CBD, CBN, sorry, CBG. There are a bunch of cannabinoids that all have kind of different, kind of interesting, unique properties. That doesn't mean it cures everything. And that's kind of a hard part of coming out and being a very pro-science person, obviously, who wants all my evidence, who wants my stacks of evidence before I ever tell you something works. I am not concerned about the medication in the cannabis cocktail. I'll touch on that in a minute, though. I appreciate that being brought up. Thank you for keeping me honest. But it's really, it does, I think the whole, like, we're trying to push for this to be legalized, for people to accept it. It does it a disservice when people are just like, hey, cures everything. Totally, just take it as it cures everything. It's fine. It's going to cure depression. It's for all the pain. And here's the thing. It doesn't manage every kind of pain. Like, it doesn't. Here's the thing. When my headache is really flared up, it's not the best thing for it. Imitrex is really good for it. I try, like, gabapentin is actually pretty fucking good for my headache. I love to take, it's my last doctor was like, how are you doing this? I'm like, it works. I like to take gabapentin, like Advil. It's like, it just kind of gets the nerves to calm the fuck down. But while I'm waiting for those drugs to kick in, having a few hits off of vape will kind of make me not want to literally rip my eyeball out. And that's a thing that I can't get from some of the other medications. That's one of the really useful things about it. And I think people saying you don't need any other meds, you see it work. It helps. See, it works. You don't need it. No. You need other things to manage other conditions, but this is a helpful aid. Like, I use, other meds to manage other kinds of things, but this is helpful for it. I have back problems secondary to the Ehlers-Danlos, and going to the gym and working out and doing things to keep myself strong are helpful. Sometimes I'll have something, I'll have a setback with the Ehlers-Danlos, something will go out, I'll have a pull, I'll have a whatever, and the pot will help me get back to the gym. So, there are things we can use this for, but we need to remember that it's we need to remember time and a place for all of it. Let's see. Anyways, I want to get answer Glenn's question about the medication impact and the combination. I have yet to see the one thing that I've seen sometimes. Every so often when I take a really big dose of edibles, I'll find that it triggers my headaches. And that's just, I'm an idiot. It's my own damn fault. But I have yet to find, like, because I've gone off of pot I've gone off the pots. I've, tried to get my tolerance back down. I've taken myself off of it for a few weeks at a time. And I haven't found any major difference other than, in terms of how my medications are working. So at least for me, it's fine. I'm glad you're enjoying, Adam. I'm just to let you guys know, I'm sweating my fucking everything off right now. Like, the cooling system is way the hell over there. It's a huge, I'm underneath a wig and there's a hot, sweaty dog on top of me. So you're watching me I'm glad that somehow the lighting is making me look very pink and glowy right now, because I don't feel glowy. I feel like a Murgatroyd. I feel very gross. Anyways, sugar and edible triggered. Oh no, it's I didn't take edible. I just took an oil tincture that my husband made. It has a light little bit of watermelon flavor. It's very refreshing. But I don't have migraines. Just to clarify, I have a condition, a fairly rare headache condition called hemicrania continua. Just to say that it's two words: hemicrania meaning half your fucking head, continua meaning all the fucking time. It just one side, the left side of my head, basically, if I was not on, thank you, Kelly. Cy Mom is here. Cy Mom has entered the chat. Hi, happy birthday, Cy Mom. I just left New Hampshire and I miss her clearly. It's just to let you guys know, going home was a fucking good time. Anyways, so that I'm still shocked that she's 70, because 70 does not feel fucking it does not feel like it's possible. I know I'm bouncing around between questions. I apologize. What do I think of cannabis-induced hyperemesis? Ryan asked. So cannabis-induced hyperemesis is absolutely a thing. And what's interesting about it is that people for years didn't believe it was real, because cannabis we think of as a thing that stops nausea. And I'm going to be so fucked if I ever develop cannabis-induced hyperemesis, because one of the main things I use it for is that my other medications make me nauseous, because I have to take, I take medications for my mental health. I take medications for my headache. And basically basically my headaches caused by a faulty trigeminal nerve, and they think there's that the condition is also caused by some involvement with your hypothalamus gland. So anyways, I'm on a bunch. Yeah, she doesn't feel 70. She doesn't look 70. She's just, Mom, you're just a fucking daisy and I love you. Anyways, blah, blah, blah. Where was I with, before I so rudely interrupted myself. Oh yeah, cannabis induced hyperemesis. So, what happens with a lot of people with, or it's, I don't know how common it is because it seems like something that people are just like very surprised exists. But cannabis induced hyperemesis, basically you smoke too much pot for too long of a period of time. And this is why I'm afraid it'll happen to me. Suddenly cannabis, starts making you fucking throw up and makes you vomit like crazy. And I'm terrified that will one day develop. Now, one of my friends who developed it, she, after a while, and hot showers apparently are that's one of very few, obviously medications to prevent nausea other than pot help with it. But not cessating smoking, stopping smoking pot is one, and taking hot showers to relieve the nausea. They don't know why, but that seems to work. It's Akiko just said, you realize Simon will start getting tons of unsolicited. If you guys, so help me God, send unsolicited dick pics to my mother, I will shame you on SciBabe. Do not send dick pics to my mother. Do not send dick pics to my mom. I'm just saying, if any of you guys send, don't you dare. Do not dare send. I'm just like, let me rephrase that. If you're really fucking hot, ask my mom's permission. And then if she says yes and gives you consent, then send a dick pic. But don't unsolicited do that shit to her. She's like, just, I mean, she's a classy lady, like permission first. Anyways, but yeah, the cannabis, it absolutely, like, I was shocked when I read that cannabis induced hyperemesis was a thing. But yeah, that can effing happen. My friend Heather went through it, and she, like, only after a few years of not smoking was able to, smoke in moderation again. But I'm terrified of that. So again, not a cure-all. Not everyone can smoke it. My mom, I gotta give her credit. Like, I got her high for the first time when she was in early 50s. Mom, I left that story out, Mama. So Mom had not gotten high. She managed to get her. Look, she wanted to be a teacher. She still believed in things like permanent records, and she thought, if she smoked and got caught, then that was, she smoked and she got caught. That was the end of her life. And so she was a good girl. And then, she had me for a kid, and it was all over. So I got her. Oh, buddy, calm down. Someone just came into the room, and I don't know who. I can't hold on. I have headphones on. I'm streaming right now. What? Hold. I'm busy. Oh, it's just, sorry. Just leave it there. Sorry. Thank you. Yeah, I know. I'm busy. Just leave it there. I'm sorry. Hi guys. Living with housemates is fun sometimes. It's really super fun. Super fun. Super fucking fun. Super fucking fun. Oof. Okay. Anyways, I'm back. Hi guys. No, Chris. Okay, but dog has come to, I have no idea who was just knocking. I heard anyways, I'm back. Dog is calm. He wanted to let you go. Yeah, every so often, the fact that I live with a bunch of people, that's a thing that happens here. I was afraid that, like, the wig would come flying off gloriously, and, like, the way too much of, behind the scenes would happen all at once. So anyways, where was I before we started the interrupted? Anyways, see, we'd gotten off the bark amplifier. I keep looking at it and thinking of the thing from Futurama, the nose, the long distance smell-o-vision, not the smell-o-vision, the extended nose thing. That's what, like, he'll go up to a bush or whatever and just, like, put the cone straight up to the, oh yeah, it was on Mom Getting High. So, oh yeah, it's probably hurting his ears for sure. But yeah, like, so Mom had never gotten high, and we were both working at the time. Like, so Mom, after, and this is, I'm like, how do I tell the story of my mom in, like, oh, smelloscope, thank you. So this was, Buddy is totally trying to hold up his face to the microphone right now, and I'm like, this is going to end poorly if he suddenly is like, it's bark o'clock. Buddy, just chill, buddy, chill. You're gonna be okay. Boy. Ah, no. Real life, man, real life. Uh, so anyways, we were, it's like, after the divorce, my father, the only thing that my father had to pay for as his part of the divorce was our health insurance, mine and my brother's health insurance through college. And instead of doing that, he tanked his business, and like went on state, like, either started making so little money or went on state aid so that he didn't have to pay our health insurance. That's the kind of trauma, man, trauma. Anyways, so my mom, who had been a teacher for a while, ended up working retail because, number one, there was more money because she had changed school districts, and number two, health insurance. Anyways, so she was working retail, I was working retail over a holiday season, and we had, friends who had drugs. Anyways, we're hanging out with a mutual friend of ours, and he'd brought over a gift for her, and Christmas gift, and I just was joking around, and I was like, where's my present? And he's like, I have pot in the car. I'm like, and I was home from college, for Christmas. And so my mom had never smoked pot at this point. He starts, and I didn't know if she was actually, I didn't know if she was going to inhale or not. And suddenly, like, I look at her, and you know how you can just look at someone and just, like, you can tell the drugs have kicked in. And I'm across the living room, and I look at her, I'm like, and she's like, this giggle just like takes over. And all of a sudden, I realize, like, she goes, ever, and like this, it's like the most stoner thing, and like, that she's ever said, and she's never said anything more stoner since then. Like, it was just so perfect. She just, everyone should smoke this. There would be no wars. And I'm like, my mom finally understands the 60s. Oh, bliss. And anyways, since then, she has tried to smoke whenever we're hanging out, and she's found that it really hurts her throat. So I've left a bunch of little edibles in her freezer. And it was, anyways, she's so determined to get herself back to that place where she understood the 60s that she coughs so hard, so hard every time I can same be said for atomizers and batteries for the vapor? I am not sure. Anyways, but yeah, mom was funny the first and only time I've seen her smoke a little bit other than that, but that was the one time that my mom was like, hi. And it was very, very cute. Look, my mom's just perpetually cute and funny without knowing it, and it's fun. It's little snippets I get from her. But yeah, like, this is why I want her, like, it's eventually I want her to get out here to visit. I have one of my roommates has a bong that has never made me cough even slightly, and I'm like, oh, she would get, oh, you guys know Hannah. Hannah has this great fucking bong called the Inspector, and just, you have to offer yourself up for inspection every once in a while, and the Inspector will get you through the day. Like, I've smoked off some bongs in my life, and that one just it's smooth, it's good, and Hannah, if you're watching right now, bring the Inspector up after this is over. I want to see the Inspector. Anyways, oh shit, the edible is starting to kick in. Man, it's been about an hour and 15, so yeah, that makes sense. But it's starting to kick in, and I'm still fine at this point. Like, I things hurt a little less, but I'm, clearly talking with, words that are English and not going into made up Russian yet. Oh, speaking of, so let's see. It's a shame she's on the record being very homophobic on Twitter. She'd be easier to support. Who are we talking about? Who's on the record being homophobic on Twitter? I missed the first part of that. Wait, which was it? Someone I was just talking about? What? Huh? Who's on the record being homophobic on Twitter? That makes me sad. I need an answer to this. Don't leave me waiting. I super need an answer to this now. Oh, how's the concert? Let's see. Oh, it's oh yeah, I did see that. It's concert accidentally because everything kept coming up at once. Like kept it was. We'll get there. Let's see. Yeah, I did see that, and it was unfortunate. She was not. She said some shit about about. I only saw that like late in the afternoon. That she'd said something. Oh, Ari. Oh, you're gonna. I was gonna say we got to do this. Oh yeah, because I was to say because we're doing a giveaway next effing week. My birthday is next Thursday. Oh yeah, guys, my mom was super fucking pregnant with me on her birthday, or like she was over 40 weeks pregnant. She was like ready to fucking pop, and she called the doctor. She's like, "Can we get this kid out now?" They're like, "You just want to have your baby on your birthday." She's like, "No, I'm super fucking pregnant." And then she called them again a few days later. She's like, "You got to get this kid out." And they looked at when she'd actually come into the hospital for like a positive pregnancy test, and they were like, "Oh, you're over 41 weeks pregnant in here." So I was, yeah, she was really late with me. And that's how I ended up being born 6 days after my mother instead of on her birthday when I was due like in mid-June. So, anyways, she would have liked me on her birthday. All right, let's do a thing like early in next week to talk up all the withing stuff. Because, guys, we're doing just a reminder if any of you are not a patron yet, why? Because next week we're doing a wonderful giveaway with Withings. And here's the thing. I got to be clear because I checked on the terms and conditions of Patreon, and here's the thing. It is not you have to sign up for Patreon. However, you will only get the alert that the contest has gone live on Patreon if you are signed up for Patreon, because it will be open to the public. However, it goes live. You get an email about it if you're signed up for Patreon. Anyways, but it's just you just gotta comment on this one post. Just gotta comment. Gotta do a one little thing, and you're entered to win a couple of neat effing things. So I've teamed up with some of the with Science Dog, who's knocking everything over, with the nice folks at Withings who sent me a lovely watch that I don't have on right now just because it's so fucking hot in here, and I have on as little clothes as possible. I'm wearing pants just because I had the dog and thought I might have to get up. But if I didn't have to have the dog situation and thought I might accidentally flash you guys, it'd be a pantsless day. Just going, oh my God, it's so hot in here. Anyways, the watch is incredible. Like I just went home to New, as I mentioned a zillion times, went home to New Hampshire. I had the watch for a bit over 3 weeks, nearly a month at that point. I had not had to recharge it yet. Like I recharged it part way through the trip to mom's and I still had 30% battery. What? Like, so whatever you guys have I don't know what watch battery is like on everything else, but like I know my husband has a smart watch that connects, connects to his iPhone. And it's not an Apple Watch. It's something else, and it's a good watch, but like he plugs it in every night to recharge. This thing lasts a month, the charge on this thing. Like I'm like, I can go away on like a couple week trip and not recharge this. Are you kidding me? Like it was it's delightful. The scale, still having fun with that. Still, I'm someone who the numbers for me, they're a really good way for me to check, if they're a good way to assure me that I haven't gained weight and also let me know if I need to cut back on dessert. And I use it for different reasons than everyone else. Everyone wants to check their weight, their numbers for everything. But one of the things I've really enjoyed about this, and I didn't know what to expect, was they have this number on it. That's your what is it? Your your vascular age. And I've been in very good shape and thin. I've been in good shape but overweight, and right now I'm quote skinny fat. And I know people are going to object to that term, but you know what I mean. I'm slender, but I'm not in amazingly good shape. I can walk for hours, but don't put me on a treadmill and crank up the speed. But I wasn't sure what it was going to say about my vascular age, and it was kind of nice to have it say my exact age, and I really like that. And it does it via a couple different sensors. Like basically, I think it measures the wavefront, or either the speed or the force of the wavefront on how fast your heart, or the strength behind how strong your heart is pumping the blood forward, something like that. Ari can clarify that a little bit. If let's schedule a time for you to come on next week to chat about this. But yeah, it's super. I really appreciate that. I also appreciate how well calibrated it is, because I don't know about you guys, I've had multiple scales die on me over time, and and like you'll step on them one day and to the next, and there's a 20-pound differential. And I'm like, I know you can go up by 5 or so pounds in a day or so, but like it would go from like 140s to 170s, and I'm like, I did not eat that much cheesecake, not quite. But no, like it was funny before. Like before vacation, I went back and like I bounced somewhere between like the low 160s to like mid 150s. And I left and I had made a bunch of cheesecake before I left. And look, I don't know if it's just that I was walking everywhere with mom and we were just her little pooch is dragged us everywhere around the neighborhood. She's a very cute little pooch. But like I left and I was like in the low 160s and I'm like, I'm gonna eat whatever I want on vacation. Fuck it. I came back and like I've lost 6 pounds. I'm like, cool, but also like I looked at it and I'm like, if I come back and I'm up 3, I'm just gonna like, here's what I do. The only thing that I use the scale for is, should I cut back on dessert a bit this week? I don't use it to restrict myself deeply. I don't use it to tell myself I'm going. And like, look, everyone's got their way they manage their body, their weight, their health, all that good stuff. I just kind of use the scale as a check-in point because I know that if like I know that some people will look at 150, 160 and go, oh my God, this is awful. Like, I'm at my BMI is in the quote healthy range, and we can have a fucking argument about BMI. I'm not going to get into it, but my BMI is in the healthy range for my height, and like I think as long as I can look at those numbers and give myself that assurance, I don't freak out and panic that I am overweight or underweight, and I just kind of try to keep it in a certain range that I feel okay about, and that's it really does make me feel like it does assure me that I'm not doing anything too crazy with my diet. And that's what I like about it. So anyways, giving away 2 of the watches, 2 of the scales, and this other really effing neat thing that I like quite a bit. It's a blood pressure cuff. Now, if you're someone who's got yourself some blood pressure problems, or you have a doctor that's told that you're put on a medication for high blood pressure, you've got whatever, you want to check that out. I love this because it does a really, really well calibrated thing, and all you have to do is press a button. And look, if you've been looking for a nice watch, and I've been looking for a nice watch for a while before they reached out to me, and I was just thrilled because when they sent it to me, like I didn't know what to expect. It's a really pretty watch, along with it being like a really great sports watch. I like that I can check my heart rate at any time, and I get that that's the thing with any sports watch. But like, man, having EDS, Ehlers-Danlos, I'm worried that one day I might develop POTS because I get up and I feel like I'm about to pass out all the time. And there are a handful of different symptoms that if anyone here has dealt with EDS, like you're just like, I want to check to see if my heart rate's gone through the roof because my God, I feel like I'm dying. But it's nice to be able to check in on that. And like, it also tracks my sleep, and I'm very bad about getting to sleep on time. It's been a good babysitter for my health. So there's, I'm thrilled with that. I know I see people talking about BMI and how much they hate it. Like, BMI is good for some things and bad for others. But I think that BMI, like, you don't have to go by obviously your BMI for your health. That is not like, it's not the end all be all. Any of the numbers you see on these are adjunctive to talking to your doctor and all the other things that you're doing for your health. So like if I was, say, a runner, if I was working out all the time, which I'm not doing enough of, and I know it, and I want to work on that. If I was working out all the time, and the only number that was quote wrong with my health was my weight, and my cholesterol was low, and my resting heart rate was low, my everything else was perfectly in order, but it was just the weight and the BMI that were off. My doctor would probably be like, hey, you're fine. Don't worry about it. We'll maybe talk to a dietitian about healthier eating habits, but don't worry about the numbers on the scale right now. Like, that's the type of thing that a doctor would probably say. But I'm kind of grateful for, and this is, everyone's different on it, and I'm not going to tell anyone how to feel about this. This was my experience, and it's valid. I'd kind of done the gain 5 to 10 pounds a year thing. And there are reasons why people gain weight. There were reasons why I did. I had shoulder surgery, and I was so immobilized for months. It was really hard to cook. It was hard to do dishes. That was when I gained quite a bit of weight. Actually, it was the first year out of undergrad, I think. I think I gained like 20 pounds that year, like above and beyond the extra, 5 to 10 I was always gaining. But like, I was so immobilized. I couldn't do any dishes. There was a lot of Chinese takeout that year. And that was when I slowly went from, like the 180s ish that I had been most of my adult height, to like the 240s, was where I slowly crept up to. And it was, that was a lot more to manage. That was my BMI. I checked it. I think it was, my BMI was around 35 or so, which again, that's not the number that because my doctor had seen me heavier before and had never said a word. This time, the rest of my stats were starting to get borderline. Like my blood pressure was going a little bit more. My cholesterol was getting borderline. All my other things were starting to get a little bit bad. And my doctor, this was like I'd moved back to New Hampshire after moving away to, all these to other parts of the world. I'd moved back, and it was my doctor that remembered me as a 15-year-old. She looked at all my other things that had gone up along with my weight, and she's like, let's talk about what you're doing for exercise and for eating right now. And that kind of, the fact that she was concerned about it, and she again talked about it in health, never said a word about how I looked, never said a word about the weight itself, talked about the metrics around the weight to me. It made me go, about the weight. And look, that's not going to be the thing that does it for anyone else. And I've learned over years, other people telling you about why you should lose weight, or ways to nothing external about someone telling you here's what you need to do is ever going to get you to find the program that you wanted, or is ever going to be the thing that motivates you. It's just you find a thing that makes you go, oh, maybe I should. And you know what? I was lucky that I finally found, it's partially, I found, I managed to keep going. I was on a schedule at that point. I was not injured. I managed to stay on, be at a work schedule that let me go to the gym regularly. And I was put on a medication that really fucked up my appetite. I mean, it's easier to eat healthy when you're never hungry. Let's just be blunt about that. Like, yeah, I had to make some changes, and I had to go to the gym a lot, but also there was medical intervention, and let's not like I had to re-lose the weight without a drug in my system that cut my appetite, but like I lost a lot of weight, and it wasn't just by willpower. A medication took away my appetite that I was on for my headaches, but yeah, like there's no getting around that, and it's I don't think that I think that like it's my doctor telling me about that was the reason why I'm like I need to go back to the gym. But like around the same time being put on a medication for my headaches that really fucking tanked my appetite. This is why when people are like, why can't you just lose weight? I'm like, I don't know if I ever would have been as successful at it if I hadn't been put on that medication. And that's why I think like I get it, why it's very easy to look at the BMI scale. And yeah, there are Jim Dobbs saying stream of consciousness, stream of unconsciousness. Yeah, indeed. I was on Topamax, and it did give me a little bit of I don't know if a stutter is the word. It gave me a bit of a I guess I'll say a stutter. It makes it hard to find words sometimes. But no, like I see people being like, why can't you just lose the weight? Because calories are delicious, because humans are designed to to hunt for calories, because we're not used to living in a time of plenty, and this is the first time in human history that it's been like, here are all the calories, go grab whatever you want. And this is not normal for us, so it's pretty normal that it's hard to lose weight. But as for BMI, so here's the aphasia. Thank you. Couldn't find the word that means I can't find the word for things. Aphasia. Thank you. That's amusing. It's one of those vicious things. Anyways, but yeah, BMI is good for some groups of people. It's accurate for like Western Europe, give or take. If you're not, basically, if you're any race other than white, it might not be accurate for your race. It's not accurate for very muscular people. It's not accurate for a lot of people. It drastically underestimates the musculature of a lot of groups It's just there are problems with it. That's why I said weight is not the weight and BMI are not the only things in here that we should be considering. Just So it's useful for some things, but you need a lot of other metrics around it. So I say don't take it out entirely, but yeah, not the end all be all. But I'm happy to have it on my scale because for me it's a useful metric at least. You don't need again, not the thing that you absolutely need just to keep yourself healthy. So, anyways, there it's. Scroll through these and see if I can find some other questions that I missed. Peer review. So I don't need to see the gastroenterologist for a BMI rate. I don't think so. Gabapentin have me. Oh Jesus! Someone gained 50 pounds in gabapentin. Whew! I am sorry. That sounds rough. Did you create this BMI and tailor to your person? I don't know what you mean, sir. Oh, microvascular decompression. My God. That was, let's see, trying to have a look at your entire thing. That was one surgery that I discussed with my doctor because if we hadn't figured out, so microvascular decompression for the audience, if you're not familiar with it, it's basically a surgery where they're like, we're gonna take everything, all the things that are around this nerve, we're gonna take all the little blood vessels and just move them around, give everything a little bit more space in here. So that was what they considered doing for they do that for trigeminal neuralgia sometimes. They can do it for various types of trigeminal nerve headaches, and there are a handful of the primary headaches that involve your trigeminal nerve. So basically they're like, yeah, if indomethacin doesn't fucking work on your headache, we're gonna have to do facial nerve surgery. So God, Brenda, I effing feel you. I hope you're doing better. Yeah. At best, BMI is a conversation starter with your doctor. Accurate. David Duncan just asked keto thoughts. I'll tell you two things about keto. One, it can help people lose weight. Two, if it is the way that they can best adhere to a dietary, to a caloric deficit. It's not for everyone. It's perfectly fine. It's not for me. Let's see. If you do physical activity, I wouldn't recommend I concur, Ari. I really look. I wrote an article for the outline on keto. So if you just look up, Yvette D'Entremont-Seibert keto, the outline, you'll find that article. But the thing about keto is that it was originally developed for childhood epileptics. And it was basically they figured out for a long time we didn't know shit about how to manage epilepsy or whatchamacallit, the one with the insulin and the pancreas, diabetes. We were at managing both of those. And maybe the only way that they had found at one point to manage those was, hey, for whatever reason, starving people works really well for making the seizures go away. That was not sustainable. No, not sustainable long term. But then they found out, and this was just really kind of lucky that they found this out. They figured out, and this was a lot of research from Ansel Keys beginning of the century. There were a handful of people that were involved in this, research from people that were looking into epilepsy, research from people that were looking into diabetes. All the research kind of crossed over. They were trying to figure out how do we keep diabetics and epileptics not dead. They eventually found that a ketogenic diet, a diet with very low carbohydrates, actually fairly moderate levels of protein, and mostly a diet based on fat consumption, for whatever reason, it triggered one of these same little metabolic tricks as fasting. Now, there are some interesting little metabolic things that happen when you fast, and one of the things they found in urine were these things that we named ketone bodies, and it would only happen when you were in a state of quote ketosis, and it happens when you're burning fat. Now, it's all very interesting. It's all and that's kind of where the ketogenic diet came from. The ketogenic diet was used for the treatment of childhood epilepsy. Now, and here's the thing, it is super fucking strict. It's something I think it's 15 grams of carbs total, and basically don't fucking touch a carb. And this is to keep people from having seizures, mind you. This is not to lose weight. This is you do this so that you don't hurt your brain. So it's 15 grams of carbs, 1 gram of protein per kilogram of body weight, if I recall correctly. So you don't even get much protein, and the rest is all fat. So when people are like, I'm on a low carb diet, I'm going keto, a lot of them aren't even in ketosis. All right. They're not to that point where their body is actually going to be breaking down protein for those precious sugar molecules that our brains love so much. So what I'm saying is a lot of people who think they're in ketosis, that they're, doing the ketogenic diet, they're not even doing the ketogenic diet. So it's all, for most people, like you're losing weight via calories in, calories out. It's just that when you cut out carbs, you cut out a lot of delicious high calorie foods. So what was best for me was the Mediterranean diet with an East Asian twist. That sounds pretty much what, like if I could tell people here's the healthiest way to eat, that sounds basically like it. Like, hey, don't eat and I hate to call things junk food, because you can, like, the way I kind of tell people is generally get 80% of your foods, of your calories, from healthy shit. Like the stuff that we all kind of like. You don't need to be told what's healthy. Whenever you see something being like, oh, like soy is bad for you now, they're probably full of shit. Your fruits, your vegetables, your lean proteins, those things have always been healthy. The stuff that like when something is high calorie, like it's got a lot. It's like cheesecake. It's not, quote, unhealthy. It's got a lot of calories in it. You can have cheesecake. You can fucking have a piece of cheesecake. If you want to lose weight, you can't have 6 pieces. You just got to account for it. And kind of that's how I live my life, is if I want cheesecake, I have cheesecake. I just, make sure that I kind of work it into what I'm doing. So that's like I have cheesecake for breakfast. I did that every single day that I was at my mom's house. I'll have cheesecake for breakfast, but then I'll have like real healthy shit for lunch. So there's my that's the story, Morning Glory. Anyways, so low FODMAP is a hard one to stick to. I'm so sorry that's. That seems to be helping a lot of people, though, because it seems to be what, like, FODMAPs draw water into the gut and cause a lot of pain. So I'm glad that people are finding relief with that. Let's see, what doesn't work as a standard American diet is just all junk food all the time, or at least that's how people look at it, which is like, I wish that we had just like, here's the thing, we don't have like, it's our American food just seems to be burgers, which, how did that become American food? That just makes me very sad. Just boo. Oh man, try jumping under a painted oof. This has been a long rambly thing, and somehow this pot has kicked well into my system, and I'm still conscious. I'm quite happy with that. I say that, and I don't know how out of it I seem to you guys. Like, I might watch this later and be like, did I have a stroke? What happened during that video? I can't tell. So you guys are all discussing olives now. I love olives. Back when I was on Topamax, like a heavy dose of it, and I was running constantly, I would sometimes eat like half a jar of olives, because I'm like, they don't even taste salty to me yet, because I'm so dying of need for salt at the moment. Like I would eat them until they tasted salty again, which I'm sure there's no science behind that, and I'm just pretending that was how it worked. I'm glad that I'm still, like, I know there have been some rambles that have gone off subjects and some definite times where I've tripped over my words, but I do that anyway. So for having had taken 150 milligram edible like over an hour and a half ago, I'm not doing bad. And it being a zillion degrees in here, and having a very hot puppy on my lap. He's being very well. He's doing very well now. So I think we'll wrap this up in about 15 minutes or so. Anyways, it's weird. Like, I haven't been here for 10 days. It's nice to be, or I haven't been here for it's been a while since I've been here. It's nice to be back. I think, hold on, let me check. Are Jamila and I this Sunday, or is it the next Sunday? Let me check, because I know I skipped one. Hold on. Oh, wrong calendar. Boop, boop, boop. Boop, 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 boop. Oh no! Oh, this Sunday is the 4th of July. Hello. So this Sunday is off. I owe patrons. I owe you guys from last month for our pay. Oh, and this works perfectly well, because so for any of you guys that have not signed up for Patreon yet, so every month we do patriotic Patreonic prank calling where we call some of our elected officials and let them know exactly what we think of them, whether it is good or bad. And some people have been very, very naughty senators, and some people have been very, very good senators. So we call them and we let them know exactly what we think of all of them. Just, as a public service. And we do this during our monthly. So we have 2 monthly Patreon calls. One of them is where you guys help me edit the last bits of shit out of one of my articles, and the other one is just a chit chat where we're just hanging out because I love you guys so much, and you help me keep my dog alive, which I value very, very much. It's over, as Ryan just linked to, patreon.com/SciBabe. So tomorrow at noon Pacific is going to be our Patreon. It lasts about 2 hours, an hour and a half to 2 hours, however long I end up rambling for. So anyways, it's Dave just said, don't owe us anything, about just keep making. Now, here's the thing. I do this partially because number one, I love it. Partially, number two, look, like, you guys keep me alive, and I effing and I enjoy the monthly, I super enjoy the 2 monthly Patreon live streams. Like, they're fucking fun for me. And the other thing is the editing session. Like, there's always something there's always something super fun that comes out of the patrons for that, because I get the article to a point where I've done all the research for it, and then we go through and just kick the shit out of it. It's like, all right, where's the bad stuff? Where's the stuff that I want to clean up? Where's the stuff where we can make this funnier? And if you guys look at my writing and you're like, I could add a joke, there's a place where I could have made this funnier, come on and help me. You get to do it once a month. I'd love it. And there are definitely jokes that make it in every month from the audience. And I ask every month, I'm like, guys, go just throw things at me every time. I always, and most of the time you guys catch something that I'm wrong about. So, and I super appreciate it being caught before it gets to the main stage. We do call Bobert, and pretty much every time we can't get through to her. Like, there's no, like, a lot of times people don't have their voicemails full. We have not been able to leave a voicemail for Ted Cruz yet. Bless. We keep trying, though, not for lack of. We'll get through to him eventually. Anyways, so yeah, it's if you would like to be a part of my merry band of Muppets, there's a link down below to my Patreon at patreon.com/SciBabe. That, like, look, you get something for that too. If you want to do a one-time donation, there's there's paypal.me/SciBabe. If you want to just, send me candy or new leggings, there's my Amazon wishlist link. But again, the thing that gives you something back for giving me something back, just go to Patreon. You get the MOS in your, Tom, I just got the shivers with the thought of leaving him a nasty little voicemail. Oh my God. I just want to call him and insult him about his inability to do fucking push-ups. Like, did you guys see that video? That was just embarrassing. Why? That was just, that was precious. People are asking what's behind me. There's, do you guys mean, because there is, because there's an overlay here, there's a thing that says the exact same thing that's my header. Do you mean behind me in real physical space, or behind me that's like the digital thing? Because there's just my header from the Facebook website that says "Come for the science, stay for the dirty jokes," but behind me is a curtain and a picture of Princess Leia. There's it's a window. It's just a window. To my, hold on a second. To my left is, as I drop it on top of the dog, the Emu Bunny cavalcade that I ever so often keep linking to. I love the charge of the Emu Bunnies. Also, one more thing. We're not just doing the giveaway. One last little plug for in case you haven't joined Patreon yet. Along with all of the wonderful stuff that Withings is tossing you away, I'm also sending out a bunch of postcards. Look at all the adorable Emu Bunny things. Many Emu Bunny things that I'm going to be sending out. Oh man. It's Bill Bushman. If you're in the audience, we need quokka things. We need many quokka things. We need all the quokka things. I haven't checked in a few hours, but I think the quokka article may be the most liked article that I've done so far. It might have de-seated Lonnie Johnson, which, my God, look at they're just so cute. I keep looking at them and I can't help but just smile so much my face hurts. I think that the quokkas were Australia's way of saying, sorry, we know what we did. Here's a quokka. We did this to make up for the rest of it. Here's a quokka. We did some shit. Quokka, quokka, quokka. So now my life, like basically, like everything else can fall apart. The world can go to hell, but I need to get to Perth before everything burns so that I can meet some quokkas. Like I need to get to Perth. I need to get my ass on that ferry, and I need to go to Rottnest Island because I need me some quokkas. It's Ryan has proposed the quokka for our server mascot. I am totally in favor of this. I just need to contact Mr. Bushman and see if he can add the quokka to our fair mascot. So we pardon me, but I am all in favor of our quokkas. They're so, like I'm in pain from looking at how cute. Like how is something that cute? What? What is what? It just doesn't make any sense. Anyways, I see you're saying you have fibro. I am so sorry, Cindy. That's just Adam just asked, what's a quokka? If you scroll back, if you go to face to I'm not sure. Oh, I see that. You're watching this on Facebook. Scroll down on facebook.com/SciBabe, and there is a cute little article that I wrote yesterday on the quokkas. And they're these marsupials they're the tiniest marsupials. They're about the size of a house cat, and just they look like they're always smiling, and they like humans, and they live on this island off the western coast of Australia, and just they're so fucking cute. They're like the only thing in Australia that doesn't want to kill you. And like it looks like it took all the goodness of Australia and they're like, let's put it into this one marsupial. Yeah, that'll make up for it. The quokka. It's my new favorite thing on the planet. So Buddy is really damn cute, but he doesn't have to make up for an entire continent worth of things that are trying to kill you like Vermicious canids were real. So he is really damn cute though. I'm very happy. The Australian, I have written about the echidna before. It has a four-headed. It's, you know what? Yes, the echidna is on the list, but because the echidna is likewise a monotreme, as is the as is the platypus. Like, because I'd covered the platypus and I wanted to have a little bit of space between the two of them. I'm like, all right, I don't want to just have covered one of my very own one of the few monotremes and then get straight to the echidna. But yeah, y'all have a critter with a four-headed penis. A four-headed penis is the next. Like the next thought that came out. You guys, four-headed. I feel like an artist could do something with that. Anyways, here's the thing. I try to not do I end up sometimes doing things 2 days in a row because it's like, oh, I was writing the subject and I tripped over something that was in the same category. Like I'll end up doing two nuclear things back to back, or like I try to space out my mad scientists or my Australia. I say that and I keep on falling back into Australia things. Look, they say follow your bliss. Writing about Australian critters just seems to be the things that I love. One thing about the Patreon I'm it doesn't arrive in my mail or on site until I'm gonna see why that keeps I might be accidentally writing them to schedule instead of post. Let me figure out what's happening there. So because I keep on posting them to that is I am sorry about that, Joel. I will fix that. So anyways, quokkas are half groundhogs, half groundhogs, half cartoons. Accurate. No, I think I might have been hitting them to schedule. I am so sorry about that. That will not keep happening. I say that and I know I haven't put up the post about Mom, but also I was trying to scramble to get it up before the live stream. So that will be stopped. Buddy, what are you doing? No, buddy, stop. Okay. I worry that I'm about to lose these things. It is, and it's fixable by me. I'm very sorry about that. Anyways, I think Buddy might be about to pull out all of my cords here, so I'm gonna try to call this a day. Anyways, I love you guys. Pretend I licked the screen, but also here's I'll show you something interesting instead of going up to lick the screen. So I have a really super long tongue. I don't know if I've ever shown you guys this from a distance, but were Gene Simmons to need a backup and they could throw all that face makeup on me. It's a little horrifying now, isn't it? Anyways, now that I've terrified all of you and shown you the reason why I should have been a lesbian, Anyways, I hope that I've given you something terrifying to think of or wonderful to think of, whatever you're into. I love you guys. Patrons, I will see you tomorrow at noon. Remember, Sunday is off. You're welcome, Mikiko. It's it's anyways. I love you guys again. Sign up for Patreon. I'll stick out my tongue at the end of every fucking live stream. Anyways, it's probably is an EDS thing that like it's probably just not tongue tied as tightly as most people. Like I think I just who knows. Anyways, so I again love you guys. Stay safe. If you're in somewhere that doesn't have a doesn't have a high vaccination rate, it has the Delta variant, keep your masks up. Like it was fun in New Hampshire to go into places without my mask on, but not going into restaurants anymore. That was a fun week of that, but back to masking up when I go into places again. So anyways, because variants are going to come. Anyways, I love you guys. Take care of yourselves. Patrons, I will see you tomorrow. Everyone else, have a wonderful 4th of July. Stay safe with the fireworks and with the COVIDs. Again, please keep getting yourselves vaccinated. Keep yourself safe. I love you guys. Bye.